Hi, I'm Mayor Ron Rakowski. Today, Councilmember from District 1, Dave Bullock, has dropped in to chat. And Dave, thanks for coming.
Mr. Mayor, it's good to see you.
You've had an extensive background in corporate America. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself for your members of District 1 and also the entire city?
I grew up in Denver. I attended Thomas Jefferson High School, where Denver Public Schools, where I played football and basketball and golf and had a wonderful experience there. I went on to Brigham Young University and graduated with a degree in finance, actually specifically financial and estate planning. And then I started my career in the financial services industry.
And the love of your life was met when and where?
Absolutely. I met Kathy there, and we actually met, I first saw her at a football game. It was an intramural football game, and then we met later in the library, and our love affair started then, and we've now been married for over 38 years.
And the result of that union was how many children?
We have 5 children. They're all now married, and we have our 10th grandchild that'll be born really any day now.
4 boys, 1 daughter?
4 boys, 1 daughter, yes. And all 5 of our children went to BYU. All of their spouses went to BYU, so we really bleed blue.
You've brought your wide, vast, and in-depth business experience to discussions as a council member. Why don't you give us a little background about that?
Oh, well, thank you. I had the good fortune of working in the financial services industry for 30 years and started off like most do as at the bottom and worked my way up over time and had the good fortune of being able to run 3 very large companies. I was the CEO of Transamerica Capital, also the CEO of Old Mutual Capital, and then I finished my career as a CEO of ING Funds Distributor. And that last company had about $100 billion in assets and about $11 billion in annual sales. And
again, that's a B, not
that's a B, not an M, that's right. And in the process, I was able to do business all over the world. I traveled to 6 different continents and met with a variety of people in many different lands and many different circumstances. And in my career, I traveled about 2.5 million miles. And so was very blessed in many different ways.
To focus on your city involvement, why did you run for council in the first place?
Sure. You know, I have a philosophy in life that we have stages of our lives. And when we're young, we're supposed to learn. And then we move into that stage where we are to earn. And then we get to a stage in our lives where we have choices of what we can do with our time. And I've been very blessed in life. I have the freedom of time to be able to do whatever I want to do. And I could spend that time playing golf and sitting on the beach, but I also believe that those people who serve others have greater purpose and greater meaning in life. And I really look upon my city council experience as my community service. I don't look upon it as politics. And so if I carry with that theme, my belief is that in our lives we should learn, and then we should earn, and then we should serve. And this is my time in life to be able to serve.
What can your constituents in the city as a whole expect from your idea on what should happen in this council term, recognizing this is your second council term?
Sure. Well, I also believe that history is a pretty good indicator of the future. And so if anybody wants to know how I will be conducting myself and the things that I will be doing and emphasizing for the next 2 years, they really just have to look back over the last 2 years. You know, a couple of years ago, I don't think any of us knew that the Orchard Station sub-area would be as big of a deal as it became. And early on, we were all just learning what was there. I spent a lot of time researching the issue and looking into all the facts, and eventually made a conclusion that I did not believe it was in the best interest of our village or our community. And so I wrote a letter to my constituents and outlined that. But then it was incumbent upon me to sit back and listen to the people of our district. I was very pleased that 78% of our district agreed with my position on that, but had they not agreed, it would have been important for me to be able to shift my positions, because I also believe that it's the role of a city council member to listen to the will of the people and to represent their values. So going forward for the next couple of years, as far as what people can expect from me, is they can be assured of the fact that I will always be well prepared. I will study and research all the issues. I will come forward with my opinions. But most importantly is that I will listen to the will of the people, and I will represent their values and their principles.
Let's zoom out a little bit and look at a citywide perspective. What do you see as the opportunities, some would say challenges, I prefer the word opportunities, for the next couple of years for GV?
Sure. When I first ran for city council, the most important thing that I said to people is that it's important that we preserve and protect the unique character and characteristics of Greenwood Village. And so if I were to put the primary priority, it would be that one. Now, there's a lot of things that go into that. As far as our challenges are concerned, I think clearly that development and traffic would be at the top of the list. I am not anti-development, even though I voted against the Orchard Station sub-area and was really a vocal against it and encouraged others not to. I'm not anti-development, but I do believe in responsible development. And so as we have developers that come to the city and present various projects that I believe are consistent with the unique character of our village, then I'm all for that. But with that, we have to make sure that we don't compound the problems that we have with traffic. And anybody who drives our roads knows that we have a traffic issue, really like all the rest of the metro area. There are some things that we can do proactively to help mitigate that, but I believe that the most important thing we can do is make sure that we don't have developments that will compound the problem. And so those are the challenges that we're looking at. Now, if we look at some of the opportunities, as we all know, a very large percentage of our revenue to the city comes from commercial. 96% of our revenue comes from commercial type taxes. Over 70% of our revenue comes from sales and use taxes. And so it's important that we continue to attract and retain and promote the businesses that are in the village. And I believe there's some opportunities. We've done a wonderful job up till now, and I think there are some opportunities to continue doing so.
What do you think about what you really love about Greenwood Village, your district, and your neighborhood?
Sure.
In any order you want to take that.
That's an easy question to answer. When we first moved to Greenwood Village almost 29 years ago, we fell in love with the parks and the trails and the open space of the area. And matter of fact, our first home was on Franklin Circle. We lived very close, just a stone's throw from the High Line Canal. And we had extensive time up on the canal, probably average 5 days a week up there. I'd go up running there and take my dog up there. And so we just fell in love with all of the open space of the area. You know, when you look at the name Greenwood Village, it's really apropos for what the village is that we have these green belts, and we also have this village feel that I just love. So after living on Franklin Circle for about 4.5 years, we decided that we wanted to find a piece of land in the rural section of the city. My wife, Kathy, grew up in a rural environment. In fact, she rode horses from the time that she could barely stand. And we wanted a similar type of environment for our family. So we were very fortunate to find a piece of land just off of University, down a gravel road. We built a home. We've been there for 24 years. We had horses for several years while we were there, and it was a wonderful place to raise our family, and we continue to live there today. And so we just absolutely love Greenwood Village. We love the area that we live in, and know that the city has always been committed to providing a distinctive and unique lifestyle for the residents. And we've been blessed as being a part of that, which was also another reason why, as we spoke earlier, that I wanted to be a part of the City Council.
Can you tell our viewers about your community service outside of City Council?
Sure. Well, as I mentioned, I traveled a lot in my career, and so there was a period of time when my career consumed quite a bit of my time. But throughout that time, I've actually always been involved very much in the Boy Scouts of America. I was an Eagle Scout myself. All 4 of my sons became Eagle Scouts, and so I was involved not only on a local level in working with the troops, but also on a broader level in overseeing and you know, committees and things like that. I'm also on the National Advisory Council of the Marriott School of Business at BYU and have a chance to mentor students. In fact, I'm currently mentoring a student right now. He and I have a weekly conference call, and I really enjoy those type of things. My wife, Kathy, has been involved in a number of different charitable organizations, and so she has the things that she does.
I want to thank you very much for stopping by and chatting with us today, and I know our viewers will really appreciate what you've had to say.
Well, Mr. Mayor, thank you, and thank you for all your service. The city has been very blessed for all that you've done for our city.
Thank you.